Hello and good evening, I'm Farhana Sheikh and you're watching AWANI Tonight. The combined wealth of tycoons listed on the 2023 Forbes list of Malaysia's 50 richest edged up to 376.2 billion ringgit from 371.1 billion ringgit last year. According to a statement by Forbes Asia, this is despite a dip in the country's stock market. Forbes Asia, in a statement, said Malaysia's economy is expected to grow at a more moderate pace this year, after a post-pandemic rise of 8.7% in 2022. However, the statement added that the Malaysian stock market fell 8% since last measured, while the ringgit was also down nearly 2%. 99-year-old businessman Robert Govt remains the country's richest person, holding the position for more than a quarter of a century. Executive chairperson of the Malaysian arm of Hong Leong Group, Kwek Leng Chan, comes second with $10.2 billion. Press Metal Aluminium Holdings, Kun Po Kiong and siblings remain third place with a combined wealth of $5.8 billion, down 7% from last year. The list also saw Ananda Krishnan of Maxis, whose net worth rose $400 million to $5.4 billion, taking the fourth spot among others. According to Forbes Asia, the minimum net worth to make the list was $315 million, up from $255 million in 2022. With around 28 million Malaysians active on social media, it is crucial to explore sustainable solutions for a safe digital landscape. One of it is Netiquette. Astro AWANI correspondent Fei Kwan tells us more.
I'm here at the Sime Darby Convention Centre for the Surf's Up Digital Literacy and Online Safety Summit by TikTok and Content Forum. Now, several interesting panel discussions today, one of which touched on Netiquette, also known as Internet Netiquette, to promote safer online spaces amid rising concerns of hate speech and misinformation. There were also calls for revamps in the education system to include digital literacy instead of imposing restrictions on young users. And it was highlighted that this is especially important for children in the country, as it enables them with critical thinking skills and the ability to make informed decisions moving forward. Earlier, Gerald Joseph, the former commissioner of the Human Rights Commission of Malaysia, Suhakam, said ensuring online safety was a shared responsibility.
We need to review the laws and policies that are regressive. We need to know the thin line limits and how to stop it and when to stop it. We need to get partners from school, parents, political leaders, religious leaders, and ask them to play a role to stop hate mongering.
Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil also spoke of strengthening the country's efforts in addressing cybersecurity threats.
It's evident that no organization can claim to be 100% secure in this evolving threat landscape. The focus should shift from trying to prevent cyber attacks entirely to strategizing and minimizing the impact for when a cyber attack does occur. A holistic cybersecurity approach is required, encompassing people, processes, and technology.
He added that the government will work with all stakeholders, including TikTok, to bridge the digital divide and to onboard all Malaysians, especially those in rural areas, in the digital economy. Fei Kwan, Astro AWANI.
According to a recent report by the Centre for Independent Journalism, nearly 100,000 social media posts during the GE15 period were found to be related to hate speech. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil calls for further probes into this post.
We know the perpetrators, we know those who are responsible, those who are involved. I think the report warrants further investigation by the authorities, and I'm sure many of us will be prepared to assist to make sure that it doesn't happen again. My commitment is to make sure that there is no repeat of what happened during GE15, during the 6 state elections that may happen sometime in July or August.
The CIJ report revealed that of the 100,000 posts, race-based narratives topped the list with 66,933 posts. This was followed by religion, royalty, gender and comments targeting the LGBTQ community, as well as refugees and migrants.
It added that politicians were the key actors contributing to racial narratives on social media, while the government at the time was the main actor targeting refugees and migrants.
Meanwhile, the Labour Department has been instructed to ensure that migrant workers brought into the country are employed. Human Resources Minister V. Sivakumar said the ministry does not want employers to simply recruit migrant workers if there are no jobs waiting for them.
Kita tidak mahu mana-mana majikan membawa pekerja-pekerja asing secara sewenang-wenangnya kalau mereka tidak mempunyai pekerjaan di sini. Okay, so saya juga telah memberi arahan kepada Jabatan Tenaga Kerja untuk memastikan bahawa pekerja-pekerja yang masuk ke negara kita sememangnya mempunyai pekerjaan di sini. Dan tindakan-tindakan telah pun diambil dan kita akan pastikan pada masa hadapan supaya perkara seperti ini tidak berulang lagi.
Last month, the Labour Department said it would sanction firms and withdraw licenses from recruitment agencies involved in hiring migrant workers who found themselves stranded without jobs upon arrival. Last May, it was reported that hundreds of foreign workers from Nepal and Bangladesh were stranded without work for months after failing to find jobs promised to them by recruitment agents in exchange for thousands of dollars in fees. A special task force has been formed to look for solutions to the water supply woes in Kelantan and Sabah. According to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, this was agreed upon in a special meeting involving Kelantan Menteri Besar Datuk Ahmad Yaakob and Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Haji Jinor. The task force will consist of representatives from the Finance Ministry, the Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Ministry, as well as both state governments. The Prime Minister said the special meeting also discussed several immediate measures to solve the state's water issues.
Sabah raised the issue of the need for a soft loan to proceed with one of the dam projects, and I've said we'll look at it as a fast track with the various ministries concerned. But otherwise, the progress in the works is more acceptable in Sabah. The problem in Kelantan is more serious because the financial requirements is also huge. I said that we will not stop at anything, but then we will make sure that it's more transparent. The management of the water board is more efficient, and they must be able to work together and accept the position both by state and federal. So it's no question of working in silos.
The Health Ministry will discuss updating the COVID-19 Standard Operating Procedures SOPs in mid-June, says Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa. The move follows the announcement by the World Health Organization that COVID-19 is no longer categorized as a global health emergency. Zaliha said one of the amendments to the SOP might include the removal of the face mask mandate on public transport. Zaliha, however, said her ministry is also taking a heedful approach before making any announcement, as Malaysia is still designated under local areas of infection until the end of this month. She stressed the need to observe COVID-19 cases and trend, as they can be unpredictable, with spikes usually occurring during festive seasons. For now, she advised Malaysians to continue practicing the existing SOPs, including wearing a face mask when in public places. We will go for a quick break. Stay tuned for more.
Setiap cerita ada dua sisi. Tetapi hanya satu yang betul. Aku bukan pembunuh.
Kalau kau tak salah, kau tak payahlah risau.
Apapun, saya tahu satu kebenaran. Ultrabox, anda boleh stream bila-bila masa tanpa gangguan cuaca dengan Wi-Fi. Find out the truth yourself. I'm not lying.
Welcome back. New Zealand police have charged a 48-year-old man with 5 counts of murder in relation to a deadly hostel fire. The man was already in custody on 2 counts of arson over the blaze at the Loafers Lodge last month.
The 4-story emergency housing hostel in Wellington burned down on May 16th, killing 5 people. The victims were all men aged between 50 and 67. At least 99 residents had been living in the building on the night of the fire. Due to extensive damage inside the hostel, police said it took 2 weeks to examine the building. The suspect, whose name was not revealed, appeared in court on May 19th after being charged with starting a sofa fire inside the hostel and later setting the entire building ablaze.
One of Australia's most highly decorated soldiers has lost a historic defamation case against 3 newspapers that had accused him of war crimes in Afghanistan. Ben Robert Smith sued the publications after they reported he had killed unarmed prisoners during multiple deployments to the country. A court found that 4 of the 6 murder allegations were substantially true.
The civil trial was the first time a court has assessed accusations of war crimes by Australian forces. Justice Anthony Besanko found the newspaper had not proven 2 other murder allegations. Robert Smith, who left the Defence Force in 2013, has not been charged over any of the claims in a criminal court, where there is a higher burden of proof.
I'd just like to say today is a day of justice. It's a day of justice for those brave men of the SAS who stood up and told the truth about who Ben Robert Smith is. A war criminal, a bully and a liar. Australia should be proud of those men in the SAS. They are the majority in the SAS and they stood up for what was right and they have been vindicated.
An elite Special Air Service SAS soldier, Robert Smith is Australia's most famous living war veteran, having received the country's highest military award. But his public image was shattered in 2018 when the Sydney Morning Herald, The Age and the Canberra Times started publishing articles about his misconduct.
A Nepali Sherpa was heaped with praise for launching a daring high-altitude rescue operation in Mount Everest's death zone. 36-year-old Govt Sherpa said he found a Malaysian climber hanging from a rope and shivering in an area where temperatures can dip below -30 degrees Celsius. He was guiding a Chinese client up the world's tallest peak on May 18th when he spotted the climber. Govt managed to convince his client to give up his summit attempt and descend the mountain, saying it was important for him to rescue the stranded climber. A video of the daring rescue was posted on Govt's Instagram. Nepal's government said the climber survived after Govt carried the man on his back for almost 6 hours and brought him down to a camp where he received medical attention. The death zone is the name given to the highest part of Everest, which is the area above 8,000 meters. The atmospheric oxygen there is so low that cells in the human body die in the absence of any supplementary oxygen. In other news, a UK-based company has developed a humanoid robot that can converse almost as natural as human beings. Known as a mecha, it can engage in asking and answering questions similar to people and can even ponder the possible dangers of AI.
I have 32 degrees of freedom and can detect sounds, recognize speech in multiple languages and make expressions with my face.
Ameca is developed by Engineered Arts and is integrated with large language models, an advanced form of generative AI. It's the same technology that powers generative pre-trained transformers, the GPT in ChatGPT. CEO and founder of Engineered Arts, Will Jackson, said while people should be aware of potential risks associated with AI, it can also have a positive impact if used responsibly. An Ameca is priced at 80,000 UK pounds or about $100,000 US.
That wraps up AWANI tonight. I'm Farhana Sheikh. Thank you for watching.